as you know, we have been camping or RVing for the last bit, and we do not have a tow car.
That's right. When we first started, said, let's go without a tow car at first, and then make a decision after about a year. So that time is now. Instead
of carrying a tow car, we've been using our e-bikes, and we've been traveling a lot with our friends and family this first year. And we ride with them, give them gas money to help out, and it helps us all out, and we have a ride.
Yeah, we thought, well, I bring two vehicles, or, as we said, test this out for a year. And one of the things that we really thought about,
it was part of our plan, actually.
Yeah, was to use car rental, because what car rental used to cost, and you do the math of how much a tow vehicle, all the braking systems, the towing system outweighs by far renting a car at what we used to be able to get them at $25, $30 a day.
Yeah, those times are no more, people.
Those car rental.
Oh my gosh.
Car rental inflation has gone out the roof.
Yeah, like everything else. Car rentals are just ridiculous to the point that it makes it not worthwhile. It's not feasible in retirement to rent cars when you need them.
At this time.
Not at this time.
They've said that prices should go down, but of course then the chip issue with cars, what they did was sell off all their cars during COVID to maintain cash flow. Yeah. And their plan was just to buy more cars, but now there's a limited number of cars, so it's a big ball that's tumbling down that really causes prices to go up.
Right. Car rentals are just ridiculous.
What did we see when we tried to rent one?
We tried to rent one in Lancaster, and it was like $150
yeah, I was thinking 161 or something like that.
It was something really stupid. For what? And that was a compact. That's what we, you know, that's the car we were getting for $30 when we were, you know, back pre-COVID. You could rent that car for $30. Now it's...
So Lynn and I both had vehicles, and we really didn't want to buy a new vehicle. We was hoping that maybe one of those would be towable, but her Honda Odyssey was not towable. My Honda CR-V.
Well, now they're all towable. It just was not flat towable.
True. Good point.
Yeah, and we wanted something from the research that we've done and everything. We really wanted a vehicle that we could flat tow, and not one that we don't want to mess with a trailer when we get to where we're going. Space is, you know, always a problem.
Well, we're trusting a lot of the YouTubers out there that have talked about towing, and several that we follow or watch or learn from. They started with a dolly and then changed to flat towing. Yeah, it's such a pain. So we're trusting those people. Put a comment down below if you really like towing with a dolly. Because I know there's a lot of experienced people there that probably won't have problems with it at all.
You, Me, and the RV is one of those channels that we watched, and they have a couple of good videos on it, because they started with a dolly and hated it, and I could totally see that being us.
Right, and
we don't want to go that route. We'll just learn from other people's mistakes.
So
we've been using our e-bikes, which we really love our e-bikes. We don't have a bit of trouble with them, but
we've got to make a decision now. Do we get a tow car, or do we continue without one and use e-bikes?
So one of the problems that we had after we decided we wanted to flat tow and not use any kind of a dolly with our vehicle is that we had nothing that was flat towable.
Yeah, there are a limited number of vehicles that are flat towable, and it seems to be getting a smaller and smaller number every year.
I wanted a Jeep. Let me say that first off. I really wanted a Jeep.
We both wanted a Jeep, but they love their Jeeps.
Right now, Jeeps are just, and it was not in the budget.
We looked at a 4-year-old Jeep, and it was 50,000,
51,000, yeah. 52,000. Yeah, 4 years old and high mileage. So it was just not in the budget.
Everywhere we went, they were very, very expensive. Of course, during this time of life and time of inflation, we understand that cars are up 37%. Used cars are up over 37% over normal cost.
Yeah. So what we did is I drove a minivan, and I drove a Honda minivan, and Danny drove a Honda CR-V. We sold my minivan, got rid of it, so we could use that money to help us get set up. And
goodbye Nanomobile.
It was the Nanomobile, which drove those grandkids everywhere in that thing. Had a blast on so many trips. It was sad to sell my minivan. I was proud of my minivan, and it was sad when I had to sell it. It made me cry. But hopefully the person who got it is doing well with their children on the minivan, making a lot of good memories the way we did.
Yeah.
So after we sold the minivan, we had to decide what vehicle to get.
We'll link down below, and I'll put on the screen a website that you can go to that has a list they have for each year. You select the year you want, and it tells you which vehicles are towable. Now let me preface that make sure before purchasing that vehicle that you double check that owner's manual. Under the towing section, it'll tell you whether it can actually be towed or not, because I don't want to mislead you. That's a great tool, this website, and it worked out for us, but always double check that owner's manual.
You want to be positive.
And a salesman is going to say, yeah, it's towable, but you better check it before you believe that statement.
Yeah, we could not find a vehicle in our town that we wanted. We had to go to Huntsville, Alabama, and y'all know we live right outside of Nashville. So we drove down there and we found a Honda Fit.
Right.
Which is it's a 2018 Honda Fit. We made him take a picture from the owner's manual on the vehicle to tell us that it was flat towable. Now also you can find the owner's manual for any car that you want online too.
Yes.
So that's what we ended up with, a 2018 Honda Fit. Yes, it's orange. We figure it will be very seeable when we're pulling it from the back of the RV, and no one should run into us because it's a bright orange car.
It is cute. A bright orange car.
And it's a stick shift, so it's fun to drive.
Yeah, it's fun to drive.
One of the main reasons that we chose the Honda Fit is gas is really expensive. This little car gets almost 40 miles to the gallon, which helps make up a little bit on the really terrible gas mileage we get in the motorhome. Also, another thing that was really important to us, we had to have a vehicle that we could get our e-bikes in. Now, you see this? Guess what? Airplane crossing over. So, believe it or not, we have both of our electric e-bikes in the back of this car. We bought tubs as we've seen others do. There's mine. Here's Danny's. They're folded. They're in the tubs. We've got them covered. The back seats completely lay down.
Still got room in the back. And
we've still got room right here if we want to put snacks or a cooler or whatever when we go out for bike rides, which we're fixing to do Saturday, which doesn't make any difference in this video. So it's a very roomy little car to be so small. One of the things Danny wanted me to mention is that it's very easy to tow, and it only weighs 2,800 pounds, so you really don't even know it's back there. So that's why we chose the Honda Fit. Yeah, and the funny thing is the salesman actually told us that our car would never be stolen because it was millennial proof because it had a stick shift, and most people can't drive stick shifts anymore.
Right.
So we laughed at that one.
Yeah, we're not saying that. We know there's a lot of younger people that can drive a stick shift, but probably fewer and fewer people know how to do drive them. So
now let's talk of the cost. This is probably why you're watching this video, to find the true cost of setting up a tow car. So the first thing you got to do is you got to get a car that is flat towable. Now everything that is, we're not going to tell you what we paid for the car because it's irrelevant. What you decide to get, you may decide for the $50,000 Jeep. We went for the cheap Honda Fit, you know. So that's all going to be up to you. But to get the car going where we could flat tow it,
we had to do a couple things. Number one, you have to get a towing system that will go from the back of your RV, your motorhome, to your tow car, and that will include not only the tow bar but also a faceplate that will attach to your vehicle. And in most cases you won't even be able to see where the faceplate is. They will attach it to your frame behind your bumper, usually remove your bumper, and attach that.
And you really want to have that professionally done. This is not stuff we could do ourselves, and I know very few people who really probably could do it themselves. I would rather have it professionally done to know it was done right.
It's something they do all the time. And
now, we were lucky when Peter sewed us. Y'all heard us talk about Peter before. He's one of our favorites.
Yep,
when he's
the RV guru.
The RV guru. When he sewed us the RV, he gave the tow bar with us. With it. He just gave it to us. And so we already had the tow bar and did not have to put we did not have to pay for that at this time. I think you're going to put the cost of that. If you were to buy one brand new, he'll put one.
Yeah, well, just from my research, you can get them as low as about $850 up to $1,200 or so just to get that tow bar. So we used our local Z-Bart in our hometown to help put on the base plate and some wiring installation. And so to give you that cost, the base plate cost us $657 to get the base plate. And then
just the purchase cost of it. Just
the base plate. And we also needed to get the wiring that will, the wiring and plug for that goes from your RV back to the tow vehicle that will allow the brakes to work, to allow the blinkers, etc. to work. So that cost $112. And then we had to get that installed. Like Lynn said, we wanted to use a professional to make sure it's done. It's something I couldn't do. I couldn't YouTube that one. I didn't feel safe with it. So that was $450 for installation. So just to do the base plate, and so we were able to tow it, came up to $1,222.39.
But we weren't done yet.
No, not done yet. We also knew we had to get a braking system. We wanted a plug and play. Other people will get a portable one, which is a lot cheaper. We decided to get a plug and play. Then all we had to do is hit a toggle switch, and it works. And it has been working great for us. So it's something you have to weigh out. Do I just want a portable one to save a little bit of money? I got to put it back in, hook it up right, and take the steps to get it working. Or do I want to have a plug and play one? And definitely will cost you a lot more money to do the plug and play, but that's what we did. So the name brand we got was Stay and Play Brake System. That was the biggest cost. It was $1,180 for that, and to install it was $745. So with tax and out the door with a couple other electrical work, came up to $2,250. So as you can tell, this is not cheap. That's what we always debated, what was cheaper, what was best. But with the cost of those rental cars, we decided, hey, and plus the freedom it gives to be able to have a tow car. So this is working out great for us. We'll let you know in future videos how we like it, but we think we're going to really like it. We're really going to love the freedom that it gives us. We've already noticed that we've already enjoyed the freedom of being able to go anywhere and everywhere when we didn't have friends with us. So this is working out great.
Yes. And the reason we wanted to share this with you is so that you would know why we're making the decisions. If you have this decision in your future, whether or not to tow, why we decided to tow, and then also the cost, how to get your vehicle to tow, and make sure you've got the right vehicle for you. Until next time, God bless and many safe travels.
And go RV, America.